Hello everybody. Today we're going to work on the other seat and we're going to work on the flap actuator. So in the previous video we worked on the first seat and this is actually more like a follow-up. So we start working on the second seat, which went much faster because we already did one, so we know what to do. And there's actually a funny thing, the seat back, so the aluminum plate in the seat back, those are very thin, and somehow Vans put in 3 seat backs in the package, so they accidentally shipped an extra seat back, which was a good idea because, as you can see here, I screwed it up and I drilled the hole the wrong way. So even if you do it the second time, you can still make mistakes. So it's a good thing I actually had 3. Probably it's not really bad because I mean I can still use that one. It is not a structural thing, but I decided, well, when I have 3 seats back anyway, let's take a good one. So yeah, I needed to get the spare part. Normally it doesn't happen much, you don't get accidentally an excess of parts, but I was just lucky here. Okay, so we're attaching the side rails on it, and now we're working on the piano hinge, which connects it to the seat floor. And again, because we did this before, we know the trick. So this went quite fast, and I didn't make any other mistakes anymore. You have to file some stuff to have, the piano hinge is kind of underneath the side rail, and I filed some stuff off so it could be in there, but it was apparently not enough, so I had to file a little bit more. And while my dad is drilling all the holes, I'm already getting material for the flaps and other stuff. So it's good if you're working with 2 persons, because sometimes you really need to be there with 2 persons, and then the other time you can just be more productive. Those piano hinges are for the backrest, so setting the back onto the bulkhead. Okay, that was the seat part. Now we'll start working on the flap actuator, or let's say the construction of the whole flap motor. The flap motor is in between the seats, so I don't think you have a manual flap for the RV-7. Not sure actually. At least I optioned for the electronic one, so the electronic flap, which means there's a motor that actuates the flaps push rod. And yeah, there's a lot of construction there again. You need to attach the motor in such a way that, yeah, there are several angles that you have to construct yourself. It's actually some work. I sometimes use the stairs to go up there, which is my the attic, which is the, let's say, material storage. Now here you can see we're constructing the flap actuator. The side skins are very, very flimsy. I think they're only 16,000ths of an inch. They're light, but they're also not very strong, so you have to be careful with those. As you can see, we're now installing the motor into the flap actuator brace, so it's on the front side of the seats. it's a 12-volt motor, so and I'm planning on so here we're drilling the side skins and the back. So the front part is completely pre-constructed, you could say, but the back is you have to do it yourself. Probably because they don't exactly get the dimensions right. Okay, after drilling and constructing everything, it's time to deburr. So that's what I'm doing now. Deburring means scraping off the edges of holes that you drilled. Because if you rivet stuff and there are still burrs, or edges, then it might not provide you with a good rivet. Okay, after deburring, I started installing the flap rod, or not sure how you call it, but it's the part where the motor is attached to, so it's the white steel part, and it actuates the flaps. After attaching it, I removed it to clean up everything. Talking about cleanup, so here I'm scuffing all the parts. After deburring, I scuff them, which removes a top layer of aluminum oxide, and then I clean it up with degreaser, and then it's ready to prime. So these are all the flap parts, but there are also some parts for the floor and even some parts for the front cabin. So it's where the covers of the fuel lines. And I will prime it in one part because priming takes a lot of time. I mean, a lot of preparation. So that's why I try to save things up so that I have one big session. Also, once I don't have really a spray booth, so it's very simplistic. And also, once I've primed, I cannot enter the shop for another 2 days because first the atmosphere needs to be cleared because I don't have an active air conditioning or whatever, which means if you're ready, then probably the whole atmosphere is toxic. So best not to go in there for the next few weeks, a few days. So here are the 3 parts that I said earlier, the extra part. So I did decide to prime the extra part even when it's not done yet, but I thought, if something goes wrong or whatever, then I at least have an additional part. Although there's a hole in there which shouldn't be there, but that's not a problem. Okay, that's it. Now degreasing. So of course if you're degreasing you have to use gloves or else the grease of your hands would grease it up again. I use a water-based degreaser, which is both cheap, very simple to use, and it's well, it's good enough because the primer really sticks to it, so that's not a problem. Maybe there are better degreasers, which are probably also more toxic, and yeah, this works for me, so it's okay. Okay, after degreasing everything, I will prime all the parts. Again, I don't show any priming because it's probably bad for my camera anyway, as it is for my lungs. Of course I use a mask. Alright, continuing building my pie in the sky.